Yo, what's good, boys? It is Yap MMA. We are back with another video today. We're going to be breaking down, recapping UFC 314. Just happened yesterday. Unfortunately, I wanted to make this video last night, but I was just so tired. I stayed up super late. I was playing poker with my boys. Stayed up super late. I was like, ain't no way I'm going to make this video and be completely intact and actually making good commentary and breaking down and recapping this fight card. There was no way it was happening, boys, unfortunately. And I was pretty busy today, but this was a great pay-per-view. This was a super, super good pay-per-view. I mean, probably one of the best pay-per-views we've had in a very, very, very long time. I mean, I honestly can't think of the last pay-per-view that I was as excited for in the UFC. It's been a while, right? It's been a long, long time since we've had a really good pay-per-view. And this one showed out. It showed out. It was a great pay-per-view. Volk is the champ. He's back as the featherweight champ, bro. Featherweight GOAT in the UFC. I mean, Volk's back. He's back. He looked great. Great fight. We're going to break that one down later, but you know how it goes. We're going to start with the early prelim opener. We're going to end with the main event, recapping every single fight on this card. If you guys do enjoy the video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's start it off with the early prelim opener of starting off this pay-per-view. We had Nora Cornoli versus Haley Cowan. Solid fight, honestly, solid fight. I mean, Haley Cowan was out for a while. 2-year layoff, was coming up fighting Nora Cornol. I don't know why she got a shot at the rankings. Like I'd said in my breakdown, I was so confused. Didn't make sense, but it showed she wasn't ready for the rankings. Got submitted by Nora Cornol, round 2 submission. I picked Nora Cornol to win this fight. I thought she'd be the better striker. Didn't expect the submission. Beautiful submission by Nora Cornol. Got the back, got the rear naked choke, was able to cinch it up, had it in really tightly locked in, and got the finish, man. She's a finisher. Nora Cornol's a finisher. She called out Aylin Perez. Solid call out, honestly, solid call out. I do think she would be held down for 15 minutes, but good win by her. Haley Cowan did look good first round. Haley Cowan was pushing the pace really, really fast. She's very athletic. She's pretty big for this division. She was pushing the pace, got a takedown on Nora. It was a solid first round for Haley Cowan. I definitely scored her that round 10-9. But then in round 2, she was getting a little bit sloppy. You could see that, the ring rust was there. She was getting tired already. She was getting a bit exhausted. Nora was able to get that takedown, get to the back. She was up against the fence. She didn't have enough space, and then was able to kind of flatten her out on her back and get the rear naked choke. So a nice win to start off this card. Nice submission to start off this card, honestly. Didn't think this one was going to end by finish, but good win by Nora Cornol. She's honestly a good finisher in the bantamweight division. But we move on to the next fight. Trishawn Gore versus Marco Tulio. I have absolutely no idea why Marco Tulio did not get a performance bonus of the night. It kind of pissed me off, I'm going to be honest. I mean, Dana White gave out, what, 2 bonuses this card? 2 or 3 bonuses this card. There was the fight of the night, Volk versus Lopez, performance bonus by Paddy Pimblett, and a performance bonus for Jean Silva. I mean, why give those dudes that are already making so much money performance bonuses and not Marco Tulio, man? Doesn't make any sense. I mean, just look at these striking numbers. Look at these striking numbers. That's all you have to see. 140 strikes for Marco Tulio to 17 for Trishawn Gore. He finished him in round 2, not even halfway through round 2. Finished Trishawn Gore. Nasty finish. I mean, Marco Tulio was vicious. He was throwing about 20 strikes per minute. 20 strikes per minute. 140 strikes in 7.5 minutes basically is insane. That is an insane statistic. Marco Tulio is dangerous. He's powerful. Spinning back kicks in round 1. He got wobbled. This was a really good fight. Honestly, Trishawn Gore stood his ground. He's very durable. Very, very durable. You could see, I mean, he ate some nasty shots. Head kick in round 2. Round 1, he got stumbled as well. I mean, it was back and forth round 1. Round 1, Gore was pushing the pace a little bit. Marco was stinging him with the jab. He was just more active. He was the fighter that was just pressing a bit more. He was on the back foot, but he was landing the more shots, and his volume was way better than Trishawn Gore. But Gore was picking his shots wisely. His defense was really good. He landed a nice overhand right. I think it was a stiff jab straight down the pipe. Rocked Marco a little bit, got him back, and he was like, oh, shit. I got to lock in. He locked in. Round 1, he definitely won that round, but it was close. Then round 2, Marco Tulio came out. He looked like he was gassing a little bit at the end of round 1, but he came out round 2. I don't know if Norma Dumont said something, man. I don't know if she said something, but Marco Tulio came out with the fire. He came out, started throwing hands. I mean, I think he threw 60 strikes in round 2. He threw something insane in round 2. I mean, I don't know if it'll show. The UFC site is usually kind of, yeah, it's cooked, man. The UFC side is cooked. Oh no, yep, 60 strikes round two. I called that shit. 60 strikes round two. Marco Tulio just absolutely obliterated Trishan Gore in every sense. I mean, the spinning back kicks, the liver shots as well. He wasn't just headhunting. He was digging to the liver, body shots, some body kicks. Like really, really nice work by Marco Tulio. Excuse me, like mixing it up perfectly. He dropped Trishan Gore, or he stung Trishan Gore before he knocked him out, had him really, really, really out on the feet, kind of. And then Gore was backed up against the fence. Tulio threw an up kick, kind of like a jumping up kick, and then a straight right down the pipe, dropped Gore, and the ref had seen enough, so he ended the fight. But Marco Tulio is dangerous. I think he's going to be. I think he's a future prospect at middleweight. He deserved a performance bonus, but it is what it is. Marco Tulio, solid middleweight prospect, boys. Solid middleweight prospects. We move on, though, to the next fight. Sumadorji versus Mitch Raposo. A lot of people thought Mitch Raposo won this fight. I don't think he did. I don't think he did, okay? Look at those striking numbers. Mitch Raposo landed 13 strikes in 15 minutes. This was a freaking what's his name? Torres Finney-esque fight by Mitch Raposo. Torres Finney-esque fight, all right? Sumadorji was there all day on the feet, landing strikes. Mitch Raposo could not get through to him. You know, the distance management. I knew the distance was going to be a huge thing. The range was going to be a huge thing. Also, I picked the Marco Tulio fight right, and I picked the Sumadorji fight right. We started off this card solid with picks. Sumadorji got it done by split decision. It was a close fight, don't get me wrong. Mitch Raposo got in on some really, really deep takedowns, got some nice takedowns, but Sumadorji got up from every single takedown. And Mitch Raposo didn't do anything with those takedowns, right? You know, takedowns are a huge factor. Wrestling is a huge factor in MMA, but you need to do something with that wrestling. You need to at least either have top control, try to land some shots, even if they're just little pitter-patter shots. If you're trying to inflict damage with the takedown and getting that ground time as well, then you're winning the round, right? But I scored round one, Mitch Raposo. Round two, round three, Sumadorji. He was just landing the better shots. Round two, all day, Sumadorji. He was landing the better shots, cracking Mitch Raposo, got his nose bleeding, and in round three, he was landing some nice elbows in the clinch. Just really good work by Sumadorji. I didn't think there was any way he was going to lose to Mitch Raposo, honestly. A lot of people were picking Mitch Raposo, but like I said, you can't trust these New England cartel guys, and Mitch Raposo is just not really good, man. He's like a little mouse in there. He's like a little mouse. He can't inflict much damage. He did have good takedowns, but he just didn't do anything with it. So, good win by Sumadorji. Gets back in the win column. I don't think it should have been a split, though, but I do understand that they counted those takedowns for a decent amount. Then we ended off the early prelims with Cedric Dumas versus Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. I chose Mikhail Oleksiejczuk to get this one done by finish. You know, I did think it was going to be close, and initially I was kind of leaning Cedric, but Cedric just doesn't inflict damage. He doesn't have any finishing capabilities besides the submissions, which was a little worrisome, but Mikhail came out, man, confident with the fighting nerds on his back, on his team. Came out confident. He was throwing hands, threw an overhand left, clipped Cedric Dumas, and put him out, man. I mean, he wasn't completely unconscious, but Cedric just looked weak. He looked like he didn't want to be there. And then Mikhail ground and pound finish to the end. Cedric Dumas was defending well. It was a little bit of an early stoppage, but he wasn't doing anything, and he was a lot of unanswered shots. So Mikhail Oleksiejczuk got it done round one. Pretty predictable, man. Pretty easy win for Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. Good to see him back in the win column. We move on, though, to the next fight. Darren Elkins versus Julian Erosa. This fight was low-key just a little sad. We'll just take a minute, boys. Take a minute to just pray for Darren Elkins. Hope that he's okay, because he looked like an old man in there. He looked like an unk in there. Got absolutely destroyed by Julian Erosa. I mean, it just looked bad. It just looked really bad. Really, really bad. Really sad fight by Darren Elkins. You know, round one, he came out a little bit, and Julian Erosa got him to the ground. Darren Elkins got top position, and we're thinking, oh, maybe Darren Elkins can go for something here. They get back to the feet, or Julian Erosa is able to get back to the feet, just starts landing some ground and pound, just nasty stuff. Darren Elkins just looks like an old man. There's no other way to say this. He just didn't look like he was meant to be in the octagon. Got finished in a minute. He just didn't look like he should have been in the octagon, in the UFC octagon. And I don't know how this guy was on a 2-fight win streak. How was this guy on a 2-fight win streak? How bad is Daniel Pineda? I mean, I know Darren Elkins is 41 years old now, 41, 42 years old. Like, you gotta give him a little bit of slack, but like, come on, man. He got smoked by Julian Erosa. Fair enough, though. Darren Elkins tried his best, but I don't think you should put this guy back in the octagon. You should put this guy in an old age home or the hospital or something, man. I'm sorry. Darren Elkins is fun. He was a solid underdog. You thought he could maybe grind out a win here, but Julian Erosa finishing potential was there all day. Got the finish over Darren Elkins relatively easily. Good win by Julian Erosa, man. He's on a 3-fight win streak now. I know he's 35, 36 years old, and he's not really a prospect, but I'd like to see what Julian Erosa could do against, a guy that's closer to the rankings. See if maybe he has even a slight chance of getting in the rankings. I don't see it happening, but you never know. He's always gonna have fun fights, Julian Erosa. He's always gonna bring some battles. So good win by Julian Erosa. We move on to the next fight. Another Unk battle, man. Well, not an Unk battle, but another Unk in there. 42-year-old Jim Miller fighting 25-year-old Chase Hooper. I mean, just insane stuff. Insane stuff. Jim Miller did do pretty good for his age against a guy who has the BJJ that Chase Hooper has. I mean, he had to survive so many submission attempts. Round one, Jim Miller, they were having some really fun scrambles back and forth. Jim Miller was on top position on Chase Hooper, landing some good ground pound. I'm thinking about the fight later of what happened, but Jim Miller was on top of Chase Hooper, landing some good shots. Chase Hooper was just looking for the BJJ, trying to get the BJJ going, looking for an arm bar, looking for a leg try, or looking for a head and arm triangle, looking for these different kind of chokes off of his back. And Jim Miller was not giving him that. Good first kind of couple minutes by Jim Miller, but then Chase Hooper started to get his positioning back. He started to be like, okay, let me focus up. Let me get to my fundamentals. Let me get to what I'm good at, It was not striking. This was not a striking matchup at all. This was just basically hugging it out for most of the fight. There was really fun little scrambles here and there, but Chase Hooper was mostly holding Jim Miller's back. He had him with the backpack in round one and round two. Chase Hooper was on Jim Miller's back, just hugging it out, looking for that rear naked choke. Was not able to get it. Jim Miller's experience, man. He's really, really experienced. You know this. UFC 100, UFC 200, UFC 300. He's been around for ages. And so his IQ is there. His IQ is there. The CT did not zap his IQ, but he was in bad positions the entire fight. He looked really tired. Round two, he came out. Jim Miller looked so gassed out in round two. I'm surprised he survived Chase Hooper's submission attempts for the entirety of this fight. So round one, round two, Chase Hooper was just looking for those submissions. He was on the backpack round one and round two, end of round one, and basically the entire of round two. And then round three came around, and for some reason, they were just in some weird scramble position where Chase Hooper was looking for some knee bar or, leg lock or something, like just all sorts of weird scrambles. Chase Hooper won this fight, unanimous decision for sure. Clear win for Chase Hooper, but it was a little bit of I'm not going to call it it wasn't like killing the momentum, but it was kind of just meh, But it is still good win by Chase Hooper. Jim Miller's experience showed up. He was able to defend all of the submission attempts, but he obviously lost this fight. Chase Hooper did say, dude, this guy, man, this is the future of the UFC right here. Chase Hooper, he goes on the mic. He goes on the mic after and he's like, yeah, man, I didn't look too good. I was gooning too much this camp. Like, bro, Chase fucking Hooper, bro. This dude said he was gooning too much during camp. He said his arm hurt. He was gooning too much during camp. This is a 25-year-old guy with I'm pretty sure, a wife and kids. All right. I mean, there's no way you're going on the mic in front of 20,000 people plus in Miami and saying you were gooning too much during camp. I mean, crazy stuff by Chase Hooper. I think he's got one of the funniest personalities. I'm excited to see him in lightweight. Charles Oliveira 2.0. He's on the come up, boys. He's on a decent win streak right now. Chase Hooper, 4 or 5 fight win streak. I think it's a 5-fight win streak right now. I mean, it is back-to-back unks, but that Borshev fight was impressive. Jim Miller's always a solid win. If you beat Jim Miller, you're kind of worth a shot at the rankings. So I'd like to see Chase fight maybe one more dude outside of the rankings and then throw him in with the Wolves. Let's see what Chase can do, man. Let's see what he can do against the bottom lightweight ranking guy. I'd like to see Chase Hooper in that mix. I think it's going to be fun. I think he is fun. He's definitely on the wave of he knows what gooning is. He knows what Sigma is. He knows these things. He knows these little things. You know what I'm saying? But we are gonna move on. I'm not even gonna try to get into that stuff. I'm not gonna ruin that for you guys. But Yan Xiaonan versus Verna Jandiroba. This was actually a fun fight. Verna Jandiroba showed some levels. I mean, her BJJ is insane. Really, really good stuff by Verna Jandiroba. I did think Yan Xiaonan would be able to outstrike her, which she did not. She actually got outstruck, and Verna was just able to control most of this fight. Very clear decision for Verna Jandiroba. Yan Xiaonan was okay in the first couple of minutes, but Verna just pushed the pace. She got it to the ground where she's comfortable. She's always threatening submissions. And Yan Xiaonan, honestly, she would be an amazing boxer, but in MMA, she struggles off of her back. She struggles to defend submissions. She was able to defend them all in this fight, but it did get very close at times. End of round one, Verna Jandiroba had an armbar, sank it in. It was locked in. If there was maybe like 15 more seconds to that fight, she would have finished that submission in round one, but she wasn't able to get it off. Round two, they come out. Verna had the momentum. She was pressing forward, landing her jabs, landing her kicks. She was mixing it up fairly well, was able to get it to the ground again. But, people thought Yan Xiaonan would outstrike Verna Jandiroba everywhere. I thought she was going to, but she did not. She was scared of the takedown threat. She was scared of being submitted, so she just wasn't able to get her hands going. Verna got this one very clear. I think she is going to be a solid test for Zhang Weili. I mean, Verna Jandiroba, Zhang Weili has to be the next fight to make. I mean, Verna looks really good. She's on a massive win streak. She's number one contender now at strawweight. It's going to be a good fight. I'm going to go Zhang Weili. I think Zhang Weili wins that fight, but Verna is definitely a challenger, and I think she's got a solid chance at causing some issues for Zhang Weili. But we will move on to the next fight. Dan Ige versus Sean Woodson. This shit pisses me off. I love Dan Ige. I love Dan Ige. 50K Ige. This dude is a massive gatekeeper. He was doing really good in this fight. This was a good fight. It was back and forth, tit for tat kind of thing. Dan Ige was landing the more powerful shots round one, round two. Sean Woodson had his boxing going, but Dan Ige was doing something that I didn't think he was going to do. He was able to get through that void, break the void, clash it in with Sean Woodson, which was his best way to win this fight. And that's how he won this fight, was by tiring Sean Woodson out, digging to the body, going upstairs, mixing it up, tiring him out, pushing him on the back foot, right, on the fence. I thought maybe Dan Ige would mix in the wrestling. Didn't really go for that, but he didn't need to. He honestly didn't need to. He played a good fight. It was a really good fight, very close fight. I mean, you look at the striking numbers, it was a very close fight, but the body language by Sean Woodson was very bad. Round one, round two, I scored it round one for Sean Woodson, round two, Dan Ige. But I mean, a lot of people had different scorecards, different ideas of how this fight went out. Some people had it 2-0 Dan Ige. Some people had it 2-0 Sean Woodson. But the scorecards don't even matter because Dan Ige knocked out Sean Woodson. Did he really knock him out, though? It was a standing TKO. It was a terrible stoppage. It's the worst stoppage of the year. I think it's going to be considered the worst stoppage of the year. Dan Ige gets Sean Woodson injured up against the fence, is landing shots on him like crazy, body shots, some head shots. Sean Woodson looks wobbled. He does. He looks a little like, okay, man, I'm tired. I don't know if I can eat more shots. Then Dan Ige lands a nice shot, and Sean Woodson goes for a single leg. He's holding the one leg. We see this a lot. We saw this in the fight not that long ago. Oh my goodness, UFC Mexico, the co-main event. Holy moly, man, I can't think of it. But he had the single leg, and Drew Dober versus Torres. Torres dropped Drew Dober, right? Dober got up, had the single leg, and then Torres just started unloading those hammer fists, right? Knocked Drew Dober out cold, right? He was completely unconscious. That's how it should be done. But in this, Sean Woodson had the single leg on Dan Ige. He was getting hit on the side of the head with those hammer fists, and I was like, okay, give it another minute. Let's see if Sean Woodson drops here. I didn't think he was gonna drop. He didn't drop, but the ref called it, man. The ref called it after maybe, 6, 7, 8 unanswered shots, but they were not shots that were finishing shots. They were not TKO shots. They were not KO shots. They were not finish the fight shots, all right? This ref is absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. Fire that ref right away. Fire him. I don't care, man. Fire that ref because he did not tell that Sean Woodson was completely conscious. The second he ended that fight, Sean Woodson got up. Fine. He was completely fine, all right? I love Dan Ige. I wanted Dan Ige to win this fight. I did think Sean was going to win. I did pick Sean to win. But that was just such a bullshit stoppage. Worst stoppage of the year already, man. We're not even that far into the year, and this is the worst stoppage by far, man. Disappointing stoppage, but I guess good win by Dan Ige. We move on, though, to the main card. Nikita Krylov versus Dominic Reyes. I don't know why my system's glitching out, but Amazing win by Dominic Reyes. Amazing win by Dominic Reyes. I went with Krylov. I listened to people's ideas, bro. I'm going to be honest. I got influenced by people saying Dominic Reyes, he's still chinny. He's blah, 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 all this shit, all this shit, all this talk. But I listened. I let it drill into my brain that I thought that Nikita Krylov was really going to KO Dominic Reyes. But Dominic Reyes TKOs Nikita Krylov in round one with a beautiful step back left hook over the top, a Sean O'Malley step back right hook. It was almost like the Sean O'Malley step back over the top or the Conor McGregor step back over the top. I should say the Conor McGregor because that's more iconic. But step back over the top left hook, drops Nikita Krylov unconscious the second he dropped. He dropped, his head smacked the canvas. He was unconscious. A couple follow-up shots by Reyes, and it was over. It was over. Beautiful win by Dominic Reyes. Nikita Krylov was doing a little bit of work in the beginning, but he got buckled by a jab. Dominic Reyes landed a stiff jab on him, straight right down the pipe. Buckled Krylov. He was like, oh shit, that hurt. That was like, oh, I'm back in it, right? You can't hate on Krylov. 2-year layoff, comes back after surgery, fighting Dominic Reyes, who's got the momentum. He's got the momentum. 3-fight TKO streak for Dominic Reyes right now. Insane stuff. I was trying to give reasons to not pick Dominic Reyes. I picked him for my underdog bets, and he hit. I'm glad he hit, but I did not think he was going to win this fight, and I gave reasons to why I was thinking that Krylov would win, but they were excuse reasons. I mean, Dominic Reyes had some good wins before. Dustin Jacoby KO'd him, rallied back, KO'd him. Anthony Smith beat down on him. I know Anthony Smith wanted to lose, but now he's just beaten Nikita Krylov, who is a very underrated fighter at light heavyweight. Just beat him. He's in the top 10 now, and he can look for a top 5 opponent. Dominic Reyes in the big 2025 can look for a top 5 opponent, and I'm going to be matching him up, man. I think Dominic Reyes should fight. There's a couple options. There is a couple options, but I think Dominic Reyes should fight Alexander Rakic. He has to fight Alexander Rakic. Number 6, Alexander Rakic versus Dominic Reyes. It's the fight to make. It's the fight that makes the most sense. Alexander Rakic is on a 3-fight losing streak, I believe now. Shouldn't even be in the top 10, but Dominic Reyes has a solid chance to beat him, solid chance to get up in the rankings, and it's also a good chance for Rakic to get a get back fight and get back in that win column and certify his spot in the rankings. But I think Reyes wins that one. I think that's a good matchup to make. And then for Krylov, I think maybe he should fight Alonzo Menifield or somebody down the rankings. Krylov took a lot of time off. I think he should take some more time off now. Recalibrate everything, get things back in lock. He has never been KO'd in the UFC. First KO by Dominic Reyes. Beautiful stuff, man. I couldn't be happier. Opening up the main card. Amazing finish by Dominic Reyes. We move on, though. Bryce Mitchell versus Jean Silva. The people's main event. Man, did Bryce Mitchell got clowned on. He got absolutely clowned on. He got murked. He got murked by Jean Silva, and it wasn't even a KO. It was by submission. Jean Silva, the Fighting Nerds aura, they're unbeatable. They're unbeatable. They're unbeatable until they are. All right, I do believe that the Fighting Nerds will be beat, but for the time being, for the next however long, I don't think they're going to lose. And Jean Silva is a prime example of that. This guy looks like future top 10 material. I mean, he just clowned on Bryce Mitchell. Easy work for Jean Silva. Round 1, he was clowning on him, hitting him with the shots. Bryce Mitchell looked unsure. He was doing some good work. Bryce was doing some good work, a couple jabs here and there, was going in for some takedowns, but his head was on the outside. Jean Silva almost wrapped up a guillotine. Somehow Bryce Mitchell survived that shit in round 1, survived it. Looked like he gone out for maybe a second. He also got dropped in, I think it was round 2 he got dropped. Got dropped with a 1-2. Jean Silva just stared at him, said, get back up. Didn't even want to TKO him. Didn't want to go to the ground and TKO him. Let him back up. And then Bryce Mitchell shot in for a takedown against the fence. Jean Silva wrapped up that ninja choke. He wrapped up that nice guillotine kind of ninja choke and just put Bryce Mitchell to sleep. Put him to sleep. Nasty stuff. And then Jean Silva just, after he wins, he starts barking in his face like a madman. I mean, Tism, I'm going to be honest, boys. Tism is the best base for MMA, and Jean Silva is full of it. He did his little Spider-Man ninja thing as well on the cage. Jumped up on the cage and started barking like a crazy madman. Jean Silva is just insane. This guy's insane. I mean, hate him or love him, he's exciting. He's really exciting, and he's not just destroying these guys, knocking them out and submitting them. He's clowning on them. Every single fight, he's pointing at him when he knocks him down. He's laughing at them. He's pointing at them. He's slapping hands. He's literally clowning these guys every single fight. I don't know if he can keep this up into the rankings, but honestly, I think there's a solid chance. Next fight to make for sure, Jean Silva versus Arnold Allen. That fight would be fireworks. I would love to see that fight. That's an absolute scrap where honestly it's a 50-50. I think Arnold Allen is one of the most underrated featherweights, and I think there's a solid chance he could beat Jean Silva, but at the same time, the momentum of Silva, I would side with Silva in that one. But honestly, I think Arnold Allen is a solid chance. He's got a solid chance to beat Silva if that matchup was made. But for Bryce, man, I think Bryce should fight somebody outside the rankings, fight down a little bit. Not too sure exactly who he should fight. Maybe fight Dan Ige. No, they've already fought it. He already fought Dan Ige. I don't know. Bryce Mitchell needs to fight somebody out the rankings, an up-and-comer, somebody at 145 who is on the come-up. But beautiful win by Jean Silva. We move on, boys, to the feature fight of this card, Yair Rodriguez versus Patricio Pitbull. This was a decent fight. Kind of didn't kill the momentum, but it was so-so. Kind of expected. Yair Rodriguez gets it done by decision. I thought Pitbull did do decent, but he's just too late into the UFC. Too late getting into the UFC. Wasn't able to get anything going. Rodriguez's kicks were there all night. Landing those kicks. His boxing wasn't great, but look at the striking numbers. Outlanded Patricio Pitbull easily every single round. He got injured. I believe it was in round 3. Got dropped. Almost got finished by Pitbull, but Rodriguez was able to just kick him at distance, poke him with the jab, move out of those scary positions. He was backed up against the fence a lot, but he just landed the better strikes, landed the more damaging shots, dropped Patricio Pitbull as well. I don't remember exactly which round that was in. He dropped him, almost finished him, but no way Rodriguez was getting Pitbull out of there. Good win by Yair Rodriguez. He's back in the win column. I wouldn't be surprised if they book Rodriguez versus Lopez next after that press conference where they were screaming at each other. So I'm going to say Yair Rodriguez fights Diego Lopez next. The UFC promised him the title shot next, but now that Volk is champ again, there's no way. There's no way. And also, Hunter Campbell loves to fuck around with these fighters and say, oh, you're guaranteed next title shot. Like, ain't no way, little boy. Ain't no way, buddy. Ain't no way you're getting that title shot, Rodriguez. So Rodriguez fights Lopez. Not a bad fight. And then for Pitbull, man, I don't know. This dude, 37 years old, joining the UFC in featherweight division, it's rough. It's difficult, right? I think he should fight one of these guys who's outside the rankings. I'm not too sure who you could give him. You could low-key match up Pitbull and Bryce Mitchell. Wouldn't be a bad matchup, honestly, but I don't know if Pitbull really deserves it. We'll see what they do with him in the future. Moving on, though, to the co-main event, Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett. What an amazing performance by Paddy Pimblett, man. This dude, I never expected Paddy Pimblett to be in the top 10 in the Big 2025. I don't know why my computer's glitching out right now, but Paddy Pimblett TKOs Michael Chandler in round 3. Ground and pound TKO. Beautiful work by Paddy Pimblett. Amazing finish, man. Michael Chandler, obviously, he's aging. We knew this shit, but he got mauled by Paddy Pimblett. Look at the striking numbers. Look at that shit. Michael Chandler, round 1, was kind of coming out. He was a little bit slow. Paddy Pimblett as well. He was throwing some shots, though, on Paddy. He was trying to connect. And obviously, Michael Chandler comes out first round. He's looking for a finish. He's trying to get you out of there. But Paddy Pimblett stood his ground. Very durable. Scousers don't get knocked out, So Paddy Pimblett, he came out. He did what he said he was going to do. He landed the better shots. Round 3 landed a beautiful knee on Chandler. Cracked him. Had him backed up against the fence. Was just beating on him, man. I've never seen Chandler so bloody. Besides in that Dustin Poirier fight, Chandler got brutalized here by Paddy Pimblett. Ground and pound TKO. Paddy got full mount. Just raining down 12-6, 12-6. Hammer fist, 12-6. Thank God the 12-6 are back because it was nasty. Finished Michael Chandler on the ground. Got himself a performance bonus of the night. Well deserved. And now he's in the top 10. Paddy the fucking baddie is in the top 10 in the Big 2025. Crazy work by Paddy Pimblett. Good win. Amazing TKO. But now who is he supposed to fight, man? Who's he going to fight? And I think there's some solid matchups for Paddy Pimblett. He called out a bunch of dudes. He called out, I think he called out Conor McGregor. They always call out Conor McGregor. I'm surprised Chandler didn't call out Conor McGregor from the ambulance, but no, I'm joking. I'm sorry, Chandler. But Paddy Pimblett called out Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje, and Dustin Poirier. You can't really be surprised by that. And Justin Gaethje was in the crowd at UFC 314, and I think that's the fight to make. Paddy Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje. The timelines are matched up pretty well. They both just fought. Justin Gaethje fought about a month ago at UFC 313, right? Nice win over Fiziev. Paddy Pimblett's on the come up. I think Gaethje, he wants that title shot, but he should defend his spot, fight Paddy Pimblett in maybe like 4 or 5 months. Fight Paddy Pimblett, maybe UFC 318 wouldn't be bad. Wouldn't be bad at all, actually. Paddy Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje. Make it a 5-rounder, man. We need to see that fight. And for Michael Chandler, I don't really know what you do with him. I'm going to be honest. I think he should retire. I think he should. I mean, this dude is now 2-5 in the UFC. He's fought the best of the best, but just fought a rising contender, got absolutely brutalized. You don't bounce back from that. I think Michael Chandler should retire, hang up the gloves. It's unfortunate, but as Chandler, even though Chandler's fun, he was never really the level, man. He beat some guys, but he's just not that level anymore, and he hasn't been that level for a decent amount of time. So I think Michael Chandler should retire. We move on, though, to the main event, though. Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez. This shit was hype, all right? Alexander Volkanovski and new featherweight champion of the world. He got that belt back, boys. He got it back. He got it back. Outstruck Diego Lopez everywhere. Was bouncing in and out. Old Volk, legendary Volk status, man. Come on now. Volk is back. Diego Lopez had some good moments throughout this fight, but Volk was just, the volume was there. The kicks were there. The jabs were there all night, mixing it up, pushing the pace. He was back. He was back. He was feeling himself. He was good. He looked good. He looked great. He did get dropped in round 2. End of round 2, he got dropped bad by Diego Lopez. Straight left, and then overhand right, dropped Alexander Volkanovski. It was close. It was pretty scary, but Volkanovski rallied back. I mean, it was the end of round 2 as well, so he did get a little bit lucky, but Volk rallied back, got the win by decision, unanimous decision. Easy win for Alexander Volkanovski. He's back, and he's champ again, man. Alexander Volkanovski, at 36 years old, is champion of the featherweight division and new. He's back. I think he should fight Movsar Evloev. If he beats Movsar Evloev, man, I don't know who they give him. I think he retires with the belt at that point. But amazing win by Alexander Volkanovski. And for Diego Lopez, it was a close fight. You're fighting one of the best dudes in the world, and he didn't really push the pace. He didn't have enough urgency in this fight. He wasn't able to really press forward and in the pocket. I thought Diego Lopez in the pocket would be the better fighter, but I was completely wrong. Every single time these guys came together, Volkanovski cracking Lopez with overhand rights, body shots, mixing it up really well in the pocket, moving fluently. Diego Lopez was getting clipped in the pocket, and that's where I thought he would be best with the uppercuts and the hooks. Was not able to land those shots. He landed an uppercut, but Volk ate it. Volk ate it, man. I mean, his chin was actually good in this fight, and it's just that the fact that Ilya punches like a truck, and Islam Makhachev hit him with a head kick on short notice in Abu Dhabi, man. So Alexander Volkanovski's back as champ. Not much else to say. He is the GOAT of featherweight. Got to fight Movsar Evloev next. He wants to fight Evloev next. And for Diego Lopez, I think he should fight Yair Rodriguez. It's a good matchup for him, and I think he can win that fight. And if he wins that fight, he'll be back in the mix. He'll still be around the top, right? And he can get one more win and maybe get another title shot. But tough luck for Diego Lopez. Life is back with Alexander Volkanovski as champ. It's amazing. It's amazing, boys. But that is the entire card recap and breakdown. If you guys did enjoy the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop your comments down below what you guys thought about this pay-per-view, and I will catch you boys in the next one. See you.